Swatika, thank you for joining us on Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and on NBT World. It's a Thursday, and the date is July 2nd of 2015. And you're with me, Sandrahan Utsaha. Welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. In our first story, Swiss Ambassador to Thailand, Christine Schreiner-Bergener, made known that the European country supports Thailand's reform process during a meeting with Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. The Premier thanked her for her role in strengthening Thai-Swiss bilateral relations for 6 years. He also thanked the country for hosting a photo exhibition of His Majesty the King's stay in Lausanne on May 12th in a bid to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the royal family's first official visit to Switzerland. Mrs. Schreiner-Bergener said that as ambassador to Thailand, she and her team have witnessed the political development in Thailand, and Switzerland is prepared to support the ongoing reform process and assist in areas needed. Relations between the two countries are concentrated on trade and tourism. In 2011, Switzerland became Thailand's 11th most important trading partner, making it the most important European trading partner. The Prime Minister has conceded that the rice subsidy program implemented by the previous government failed to solve the problems of Thai farmers. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha said that the National Rice Policy Committee meeting on Wednesday has discussed measures to solve the problems in the rice business, including the sales of rice and the inspection of the quality for which the government is now responsible. General Prayut said that the government is currently paying 46 million baht each day for the storage of the rice, while several problems are affecting prices, particularly the global rice market, which is sensitive to weather conditions. He stated that the past policies related to rice will never be able to solve all of the problems, and that they can cause damage to the country and the people. The Prime Minister has urged Thai people living in Australia to always be proud of their motherland. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha met with a group of youths and their parents who have flown in from Australia under the project Thai Youths in Australia Returning to the Homeland, which is now in its 5th year. During their meeting at Government House, the Prime Minister expressed his appreciation for their visit and asked all to remain proud of their origin as Thais. General Prayut also urged all to feel honored to be a part of Thailand's long-cherished culture. He also stressed that Thailand and Australia have enjoyed years of good relations, while asserting that the current government is trying to push Thailand to be more recognized by the international community. The Minister of Agriculture has been instructed to conduct artificial rain-making operations in the northeast once weather conditions permit. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has ordered the ministry to monitor the situation in the region, where the drought crisis has raised concerns among locals and authorities. Cloud seeding operations are to be conducted as soon as weather conditions are ripe, in a bid to assist farmers who are in the process of beginning a new harvest season. The Premier said the amount of water flowing into dams is increasing thanks to the ongoing operations in provinces across Thailand. During the cabinet meeting in Chiang Mai, the Premier also instructed agencies to allocate zones to grow suitable plants and to start digging 1,000 wells to tackle the growing drought. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha has said there is no need to give illegal fishing boats an extension of the present registration period. The Prime Minister said the government is unable to agree to the demands of the operators of fishing boats to give them more time, as it would directly affect the export of Thai seafood. General Prayut is asking them to understand what an extension could entail. Thai National Shippers Council advisor Phaiboon Phonsuwarna said if they are going to stop work in their protest against the government's decision, there won't be enough seafood for domestic consumption. He added that supplies might have to be imported to maintain the level required to meet local demand for seafood. Food outlets in the South are beginning to complain about a shortage of supplies after authorities began a thorough inspection of fishing boats as part of the crackdown on illegal fishing. Trawlers have anchored their boats in response to the government's inspection for illegal, unreported, and unregulated, or IUU, fishing. The tough crackdown and action kicked off yesterday. Local restaurants and fresh markets have complained that they were bearing the brunt of the IUU clampdown. Food retailers claimed they had to shift to non-seafood cuisine, and nearly all fresh seafood stalls were also facing supply shortages. One of the seafood vendors disclosed that he might have to stop selling seafood for a while until the situation returns to normal or may change to a new profession. The United States has extended its Generalized System of Preferences, or GSP, privileges for Thailand by another 4 years and 5 months, with 2 years retroactive effect. General Chachai Salikanya, the Minister of Commerce, disclosed on Wednesday that the GSP extension was approved by the President of the United States on June 29th. As a result, Thai exporters may claim 2 years' worth of taxes, or about 6.2 billion baht, that they paid since the GSP privileges expired on July 31st of 2013. The current GSP privileges cover 3,400 articles of export items and will last until December 31st of 2017. According to General Chachai, Thailand is the second most prolific utilizer of the U.S.'s GSP system after India. It accounts for 18.67% of the value of GSP utilization. Meanwhile, the Commerce Minister said the Greece debt problem might affect the market in the European Union. He noted, however, that several markets, such as Germany, were still performing well, and good export prospects for Thai products to these markets are expected. The lack of recovery in the global economy and diminished domestic purchasing power have resulted in industrial output dropping by 7.6% in the month of May, although the situation is expected to improve in the latter half of this year, according to the Office of Industrial Economics, or OIE. Udom Wongwiwatchai, director of the OIE, indicated that the relocation of production bases for electronics products away from Thailand also contributed to the drop in output of certain products such as hard disk drives, automobiles, televisions, and jewelry. However, the OIE expects a recovery in the sectors of automobiles, chemicals, cement, and garments due to stronger demand in the latter half of the year. Since the Independent National Rule of Law Commission, or NRLC, proposed that the Thai justice system use the electronic monitoring device, or EM, to reduce the number of offenders imprisoned for their entire jail sentences despite being convicted of nonviolent crimes, There were concerns over using such a system of home detention. However, it has resulted in real benefits to society, as Panotsi Sinsap reports.
Electronic monitoring, or EM for short, is a type of bracelet fixed to an offender's leg. It remotely monitors the movements of an offender while serving a community sentence. During the offender's probation, the device helps to monitor 4 key limitations: zone restriction, curfew, speed limit, and route supervision. The imposition is an option, but offers a better choice for those who are convicted of an intermediate sanction, such as drunk driving, drug usage, or assaulting others. It's an option the judges and decision makers can take to impose a deterrence on an offender without sentencing them to prison.
The Department of Probation is the first agency in the criminal justice system initiating the use of electronic monitoring. We have conducted the experiment project for 2 years. Actually, rationale behind the initiative is to promote the effective alternative to custody,
allowing offenders to go back living a normal life, but with a small device attached to their legs. At first, raised concern from people in the community that such a scheme could cause harm to the normal society. However, entering its second phase, after the experience of the first full year, has proven that the device can provide great benefits.
The feedback is we have both positive and some negative feedback, but more on the positive. In terms of qualitative finding, we found some positive results. For example, in terms of sentences, for those who know that they have a chance to use the EM instead of the prison terms, these groups feel really appreciated for the opportunity. They are very willing to comply with the orders too. They tend to be more careful for their conduct.
Head of EM Control Center, Ms. Sangdeun Sangwongam Lam, added that the implementation helps offenders by not having to go to jail. It also helps the government save on the financial costs, along with social costs, of those going to prison. In there, offenders learn more about crimes and are more likely to do more in the future, as prison can also be called the University of Crime. Having a device attached to their leg also helps offenders to be reminded of their actions, resulting in self-rehabilitation while being able to go back living a normal life.
One ever said that when they saw the EM at his ankle, he was reminded of the past mistake and they didn't want it to happen again. So he would like to take this chance to prove himself that he can be a law-abiding citizen.
Now entering its third year, with the device having been tested and implemented on thousands of offenders nationwide and being proved a success. Next year, the Thai Penal Code Section 56 regarding offences leading to imprisonment will be amended to grant wider discretion on using the EM technology as an alternative to imprisonment. Panotsi Sinsap in BT World.
Thank you to Kumpanut for that report, and that is the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. It's time for a quick break, but first here's a look at the exchange rates and the commodity prices.
Maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The fifth core value: maintaining preservation of Thai traditions and cultures.
How could you do that to me? Stop it! Huh? Don't you get it? I don't need you anymore. Enough. We're through. There's someone else in my life.
Say no to the past. Bring your own bag. Say no to plastic.
Physical connectivity, institutional connectivity, and people-to-people connectivity. The power to turn this region into a strong community. Witness the interconnectivity between the 10 Southeast Asian countries in ASEAN Connect via these channels.
Welcome back to Newsline. Thailand Center of Excellence for Life Sciences is ready to play host to a major academic conference related to clinical trials in the middle of July. Dr. Nare Damrongchai, the CEO of Thailand Center of Excellence for Life Sciences, or TCELS, said that the Science Ministry will be joining members of Thailand towards Excellence in Clinical Trial, or ThaiTech, to host the 15th ThaiTech Annual Meeting 2015 from July 16th to 17th. The event, which will take place at Hilton Sukhumvit Hotel in Bangkok, carries a theme of From the Discovery to Early Phase of Clinical Trials. Dr. Nared said that the upcoming conference is hoped to introduce new knowledge related to preclinical and clinical research, which will be significant for further development of new medicine. Greek Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis was mobbed by journalists as he headed to meet with Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras on Wednesday, following a Eurogroup conference call on Greece's bailout proposal. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras told international creditors on Wednesday that Greece could accept their bailout offer if some conditions were changed. In exchange for the conditional acceptance, he asked for a 29 billion euro loan to cover all its debt service payments due in the next 2 years. Finance ministers of the Eurozone see the latest proposals as heading in the right direction, Varoufakis said as he left the ministry. But Greece's Eurozone partners see no point in talking further. Let's not put the cart before the horse, tweaked Slovak Finance Minister Peter Kazimir. The United States and Cuba on Wednesday formally agreed to restore diplomatic ties that had been severed for 54 years. U.S. President Barack Obama and Cuban President Raul Castro exchanged letters agreeing to reopen embassies in each other's capitals, with the Cubans saying that could happen as soon as July 20th. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, speaking from Vienna, said the announcement was incredibly significant for the former Cold War enemies. The Cuba deal marks a major achievement for Obama, who has been criticized for foreign policy stumbles, especially in the Middle East. With diplomatic relations restored, the United States and Cuba will turn to more difficult bilateral problems. 2 new cases of Ebola were recorded in Liberia on Wednesday, nearly 2 months since the West African country worst hit by the disease was declared Ebola-free. As Liberia fights to quickly contain the new Ebola outbreak, the family of one victim in the village of Nidawin were confined to their home. Health officials went through the neighborhood to spread awareness and get the community involved in containing the outbreak. Involving the community is how Liberia won the fight with the deadly disease the first time around. Health officials in Newsline were working hard to identify who made contact with the latest victim, a boy who had attended school and visited a local clinic in the week before his death. And President Barack Obama let Girl Scouts camp out at the White House with him and the First Lady. It was not your average Girl Scout campout. There were tents, but instead of the backwoods, they were pitched on the south lawn of the most famous address in America, the White House. There was stargazing, but it was led by Katie Coleman, a U.S. astronaut who spent 2 years on the International Space Station. And there was a campfire sing-along, which President Barack Obama dropped by to join. The First Lady, who is also the honorary national president of the Girl Scouts, sat beside the president on a bale of hay as the group clapped and sang lyrics from souvenir pamphlets. The Obamas read over the shoulders of the scouts beside them, singing along. And that's all we have for you in this edition of Newsline. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook by simply typing in NNT, and you can check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/newsing. We're going to say goodbye today with a baby camel born at Mexico City's Chapultepec Zoo, joining a group of 4 other camels in enclosure. Have a great day today. I'm Sandra Hanud Saha for Newsline. Sawadee ka.